But now let's go over to the Vikings.
Oh God. Like, what do you say about that? Like, we watched this Vikings team play with fire all season long last season.
Time.
I think they had the most single possession games played in the history of football. I think. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong, but I think they did in a single season.
Wow.
And what happened?
No, I believe that.
And how they lose? How they lose to the Giants in a close game?
Yep.
Right. I'm gonna say it's closed. It's closed because I don't trust the defense, and it's closed because how many teams in this conference can you win close games with?
Yeah.
As you're going to the Super Bowl, you're
right.
Like, you do not want to. You first of all, you're not even going to be in a close game with the Eagles. The Eagles showed us that in prime time earlier in the season last season, so that's not happening.
Yeah.
You're not going to be in a close game with the Cowboys. Each of the last 2 times you've played the Cowboys, you've lost by double digits. Yeah. It hasn't been a good look for you. You're not going to be in a close game against the Niners. The Seahawks might blow you out, but maybe you'll be in a close game. Like, it's very tough. If the goal of the Vikings is to play with fire this way, they're not going to win a championship. I will commend them, though, for going out there and getting, Jordan Addison to replace Adam Thielen. I will commend them for that. You've got another young receiver to play alongside Justin Jefferson. Obviously, as you mentioned, they did trade for TJ Hawkinson.
Duo in the league.
I think so. And those three, I think that wide receiver tight end combination of Addison, Jefferson, and Hawkinson could be one of the best in the league by the end of the season. Right. I do think that. Unfortunately, here's the deal. Dalvin Cook's not there anymore. And this is no disrespect to Alexander Madison, because Alexander Madison is phenomenal. And I've had Alexander Madison on fantasy teams. And when Dalvin Cook goes down, he still produces for you.
You pick that boy up and you have faith in him.
Yeah. But Alexander Madison does not strike fear in the defenses the way that Dalvin Cook has and still does.
Right.
This is going to be a pass-happy team to me. And I just don't know. If we're talking about the Vikings team of last year that's competing in 12 or 13 close games over the course of the season, mind you.
Right.
There's only 17 seasons to play. Yeah.
That's what people seem to forget.
There's only 17 games to play. So if 13 out of 17 of the games you're playing are one possession games, granted they won like 11 or 12 of them, good for them, but that's not a recipe for success in the long term. I'm going to say it's closed. I think they got to do something with that defense, primarily is the issue for me. There's a lot of explosive offenses that would have a field day with that defense, and they haven't really done anything to make that defense better.
Closed for the Minnesota Vikings. I'm going to go half open again. I would say maybe wide open if I had more faith in Kirk Cousins, because we know where Kirk Cousins is. Like, he can maybe win you a playoff game or two. We saw him do it against the Saints. We've seen them, have some comeback wins, have these close wins. But Kirk Cousins, and I don't think anybody believes he's really that guy that's going to take you to the promised land, that's actually going to be able to play in a tight game in a Super Bowl. He's smart. He's very intelligent. He makes, safe plays, very, very good plays, but he's not going to be in that elite quarterback conversation. He's always going to float around that maybe 10th to 12th or 13th best quarterback, at worst in the NFL. And we love the offense, right? I know you talk about Dalvin Cook, and I actually got a perspective from a Vikings fan, and it really just showed kind of how the running back market is getting devalued, which that's no surprise, right? So you have Dalvin Cook, who strikes the fear in teams, right? He definitely, puts that fear in other defenses. But I want to say, if I remember correctly, Dalvin Cook before last season had never played more than 14 games in a year, and had his rookie year delayed, I want to say, by an injury as well. So when you look at how he had the fat $16 million contract in the league over those 5 years, way too much for a running back. Thank you, Ezekiel Elliott, for making it to where a running back can never make over $20 million a year again. You look at what Alexander Madison, when he's had to plug in those 3 games, 4 games, maybe in some part of a game where Dalvin's gassed or he is just hurt. With them being so pass happy, Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, the best receiver in the league, and also TJ Hawkinson, one of the top tight ends in the league, or at least one of the better tight ends in the league. Sure. When you look at how that offense is going to be able to operate, I'm now getting to the point in the NFL where I love defense. I don't know if I'm a defense wins championships guy or if I ever was, but you can win Super Bowls with the 20th or the 22nd, 23rd best defense in the NFL. It's kind of always been a thing, but especially in today's, NFL. And you go and you
Mhm.
look at the depth chart. Marcus Davenport from the Saints, they do try to get some more out of Andrew Booth Jr. They do have Harrison Smith at the safety position, excuse me, Daniil Hunter, Harrison Phillips. So there are, I feel like, enough guys on that defense to be able to do what they need to. I know it's not a major change, and some people might think it's crazy that I'm saying half open, but this offense is too good in today's NFL for me to say that it's actually closed shut.